What's up, everybody? Dr. Jesse Ritter here. I am on this beautiful morning here in Baltimore. I'm in my backyard, listening to all the birds chirping, watching the ants crawl up the tree that I have my phone attached to right now, and just another grateful, beautiful morning. Just happy to be alive. I had an opportunity this morning to listen to a story, an extremely powerful story by a man named Wes Chapman. Wes Chapman's story is so impactful and so powerful, and it really hit home with me the point that there are no excuses in life. There just isn't. His story is one of childhood trauma where he was molested as a young kid, and by the time he was age, I believe it was 6.5, he was in a padded cell. He was taking medications, and he had been molested for almost his entire childhood at that point. And he, from that place, over the next 10 years, was heavily medicated and abandoned. He was abandoned by his father at a very young age, and then by his mother around that 6-year-old point. I think that's when he actually then fell into a home of some kind and was being taken care of that way. But for 10 years he was heavily medicated, and at age 16 was when he finally woke up to the realization that everything that happened to him that was outside of his control, so the person who victimized him, that was out of his control and that was not his fault. But everything that happened since then, the taking of the medication, the avoidance of dealing with the issues at hand, that he took fault for that. He took blame for that. That was his fault. And when he first said it, I had that same reaction that you had, which was one of, like, how could that be his fault? Like, he was victimized. He was taken advantage of. He was powerless. He was a child. And I had that sort of same initial gut reaction as well. But as he continued to move through and talk about how important it is to take back control in your life, take back the power, I began to understand the implications of this, not only in my own life, but in everybody's life. And I want to challenge you, as I challenged myself, as I listened to his story and began to sort of think about this and reflect on this. I want to challenge you to think about what story or what experience in your life that happened to you that maybe wasn't your fault that it happened to you. We all have those, right? Some are huge, some are what you consider more minor, but to the person, to you, something that was very, very traumatizing to you, that you either running from, or you're playing it over and over in your head, or you're using it to define you. I want to challenge you to think about every moment, every day, every week, every month, every year that's gone by, that you've allowed that moment or that experience or that thing to control you. It wasn't the thing that happened to you. It wasn't its fault. It was actually your fault and my fault and everybody's fault. Because every moment in life is an opportunity to make a different decision, to stop feeling sorry for ourselves, to stop being the victim. And as soon as we can admit that the circumstances that we're in, that the problems that we have, that everything we have in life or don't have in life, as soon as we can accept responsibility for that, and fault for that is the word that he uses, that's the moment that we take control. We take the power back. And now we're the one who decides how our day is going to go. We're the one who decides how healthy we're going to be, how our relationships are going to be, how our marriage is going to be, how our extended relationship is, or our extended family relationship is going to be, the impact that we have in the world, the smile that we present to the world, the health that we have with our oral health. it all ties in, right? We all have the power of choice. It's really what distinguishes us from every other creature in nature, is that we have that ability to choose and imagine our future, right? And if we are just running from something that happened in our past, or we're allowing that thing that happened in our past to define ourselves, then we are not stepping into our true power and taking control of our life. So when it comes to cosmetic dentistry and rehabilitative dentistry, this hits home for me, because when I think about what people are up against, a lot of times it is an inability or unwillingness to take responsibility for where they are and where their teeth are and where their smile is, right? And some of that is past experiences. They didn't have good care as a kid, and that set them up with bad habits, and they started to have decay when they were little, and they had problems when they were young. And no doubt there is truth in that story. There is a version of truth in that story, in that does set you, and it set you on a more initial trajectory that is more challenging and harder to overcome. Empathize and get that 100%. But I want to empower you. To know that you can make a different choice at any point in time. If you're not happy with how your dental experience has been, how your trajectory in dentistry has been, how every time you go in you feel like, they're just telling me I have another problem, another cavity, another tooth broke, another tooth cracking, I'm not doing a good enough job taking care of them, and you're just sick and tired of that feeling. Or you're sick and tired of just looking in the mirror, or looking at yourself during a meeting, a Zoom meeting or a go-to meeting or something, and you're just like, I'm not happy with that. Like, I know that doesn't represent me. I know that the way my teeth look, that's not a reflection of who I am, right? And sometimes the lie that we end up telling ourselves is, well, actually the way my teeth look, that gives me grit. That gives me, for men specifically, I can speak for men. Maybe when my teeth look like that, it makes me look more manly. When they look worn and beat up and discolored, I'm a more intimidating person. I'm a more powerful person. To a degree, the intimidation factor, that might be true. But is that what you're trying to put out there? Is that what you're trying to achieve, is intimidation or masculinity through kind of like a beat up sort of look to your smile? Listen, I know that some of the things I'm saying, I know that some of them are kind of, I guess you would say, edgy or challenging or borderline controversial. But I would, again, challenge you, and men specifically, that if you envision really who you are and where you're going and what it is that you want to achieve in life, and the person that you authentically are, do you find that appearance of your teeth, or that feeling around the health of your teeth, that reinforces that and creates an environment for you that's going to help you succeed? So I know I got a little bit off track there, but I really, again, want to step back and use Wes Chapman's story and his experience of coming from just this awful background, and now he's a successful. I mean, he has a beautiful family. He was told that he couldn't have any of these things. He would never drive, is what he was told, because he was so far gone and so medicated. He was told all of these things about what he could be and how far he could go and the things that he could achieve in life. And all of the things that they said about him, they're not true. None of it's true. It was all a story. It was all external things being projected onto him, being told to him. And he chose a different path, a different story. And we all have the ability in any moment in our life to choose to move in a different direction, to choose to make a different decision, and to choose to step into who we are meant to be in this life. And I want that to be my message for today. And please, if you find this message inspiring, or you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next one.